For more than a year now, the Fox 9 investigators have attempted to answer a simple question. Where is all the taxpayer money going when it comes to violence interruption, intervention, and prevention on the streets of Minneapolis? Work that led to lawsuits, allegations of mismanagement, and heated arguments inside City Hall.
I'm doing the funerals.
The debate in Minneapolis,
I'm out there on the block.
reaching a fever pitch.
Utterly failed our residents.
What's so frustrating is not good governance.
Tonight, we cut through the rhetoric and ask the key questions. Do you think the city should have been better in the past at that? And as the city of Minneapolis audits its own violence prevention programs,
I would definitely call it a broken system.
We had to file the lawsuit.
we also hit the streets with the groups asking for more money and promising to do better.
We stepping in, mediating, preventing something that could possibly end it deadly. So those are some of the things that we do in the dark that don't come to the light.
I know it's been freezing cold out here, for the past week.
Bundled up on a late February afternoon,
Make sure everybody got all their toes and fingers and everything.
this group of violence interrupters
We did lose somebody in Uptown. I know that was before our shift.
is about to hit the Minneapolis streets in their distinctive yellow and black outfits.
Assault that happened. Unfortunately, he had lost his life.
Mo Abdulahad is founder and executive director of Touch, where teaching our urban communities hope. It is one of several violence prevention groups contracted with the city over the last several years to help keep the peace in high crime corridors like here along East Lake Street.
When things happen in our community, we do show up because we are a preventative side of things. We're not responsive.
Hey, come on, y'all. Hey, y'all, come on, y'all.
The city began awarding millions of dollars in violence prevention contracts to groups like Touch following the murder of George Floyd in 2020 that led to nationwide calls for public safety reform.
Hey, bro. Hey, step away Step back, bro.
But Touch and several other organizations have been under growing scrutiny. From the Fox 9 newsroom
And violence prevention funding is headed to the full city council for a vote.
to City Hall,
Makes the environment ripe for corruption.
to the courtroom.
These types of invoices were routinely paid for years.
Minneapolis attorney Dean Thompson filed this 35-page lawsuit because of concerns about how the city's neighborhood safety department was doling out
Was not proper.
and overseeing 6- and 7-figure contracts for violence prevention efforts.
The city was paying over $70 million of invoices without getting any backup for the invoices. No canceled checks, no receipts for expenses, just invoices saying, pay me the money, and they did pay the money.
The Fox 9 investigators spent the last year requesting invoices, receipts, and time cards these violence prevention organizations are required to submit. Ultimately, we found several groups who provided little to no documentation about how they were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding.
I can quantify mine because the guy didn't get killed. The guy didn't go back to prison. The guy's checking in with me once a week.
Feroma Brown was awarded contracts worth more than $500,000 to work directly with gang members. He said the city did not ask him for a lot of those records.
Everybody should be accountable for, making sure that dollars are going to the right areas.
W. Berry Consulting submitted these invoices totaling more than $270,000. Off camera, Westbury Belton told me he has always been in compliance with Minneapolis's policies and procedures, but we could not find any receipts submitted to the city. And he declined to provide any documentation for the listed expenses to the Fox 9 investigators.
I will be supporting these contracts.
And just a few days ago, the city council signed off on giving Berry Belton another contract, this one topping $207,000. Is the city asking these groups, these organizations, to do more?
One of the things that we have done is that we have really looked at the scope of our contracts, and we're really pressing upon our vendors and providers to really meet that scope.
Is this work quantifiable?
Oh, I think so. I think we could be data driven.
Touch showed us how it is now tracking that data in real time.
For instance, they'll engage with somebody, they have the tablet, pull out the tablet, and everything is just like a checkbox.
Their violence interrupters must also now clock in here at the office computer after the group previously submitted lists of staff members paid $30 an hour without any identifying information whatsoever.
We don't even know who the violence interrupters are.
When we first started, we were handwriting, on timesheets when people were just showing up.
Abdullah Had insists they did not include names in the past out of an abundance of caution to protect privacy.
There is a great chance that some folks took advantage of that, while other folks were trying to do good work and just didn't get good guidance.
Luana Nelson Brown resigned in January after running the neighborhood safety department, overseeing the city's violence prevention efforts for just over a year.
I was shocked, I think would be the word.
During that short time, her department was accused of mismanagement, conflicts of interest, and improperly withholding funding.
I do not have confidence in any element of the neighborhood safety department at this current time.
But these emails obtained by the Fox 9 investigators show just why Nelson Brown began declining some of those payments.
I stopped paying invoices because there was no documentation. And it's not that I stopped paying it, I wouldn't pay them until they gave me documentation, which is literally my job to do.
A basic ask.
Basic ask, basic accounting principles.
Should we have been tighter, more restrictive on some of the, data collection? Do you think the city should have been better in the past at that?
I wasn't here to live through it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go back and second guess what other people's decisions were and things like that.
Community Safety Commissioner Todd Barnett confirmed Minneapolis is now auditing how those contracts were awarded in the past as part of a settlement that ended the lawsuit against the city last year that also requires more detailed record keeping moving forward.
Everything is here, it's very savvy.
As for Abdullah Had at Touch,
it's great. It's a great system.
He says his organization is ready to prove that this money is helping keep Minneapolis safe.
At least we are building that trust and being able to bridge those gaps and showing up in the same spaces and community and saying like, hey, we're not going anywhere. We're part of the solution. We can't say that we're going to fix the whole problem, but guess what? It does start with us.
In total, the City Council last week passed half a dozen contracts, including Barry Belton's, funding $800,000 in violence prevention efforts, following a more rigorous bidding process implemented as part of the lawsuit settlement. Another batch of violence interruption contracts are set to be awarded this spring, as several council members continue to press the Fry administration to better manage this work. Paul Bloom, Fox 9.